What an afternoon as we welcome you to the SMX Insider post-race show here inside MetLife Stadium. It was busy, it was taxing, but coming away with the best possible result. Chase Sexton, his teammate Aaron Plessinger having some fun. It was a 1-3 result for the Red Bull KTM organization. What a day. He looks exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, we was talking about you go into the red zone like that with the heart rate. It's hard to pull it back. And then Justin Cooper just dogging him for that podium position. This guy here, though, I mean, I am absolutely speechless, but he is so capable of that. For me, it was refreshing to see that ride from him. And, man, if that doesn't give you some mental confidence, I don't know what will. But I can tell you, he talked about the 2 sets of whoops. I think he was faster in a whole lot of other areas. He just looked locked in and just at one with his bike.
Well, hearing the description and the words like flow and easy, comfortable. Look at the expression on Chase Sexton's face. That says it all. Did what he needed to do. Backs it up with consecutive victories.
Hey, Mike.
Little debrief there with Dino.
His old team manager, Lars Lindstrom, factory HRC, Honda Racing.
Hey, RC, why don't we relive some of the highlights of a super afternoon? Finally, we got some good weather.
You aren't kidding. It was nice. Hot, too, it was.
So the stage was set between Cooper Webb and Chase Sexton with a 12-point difference, 12-point advantage to Cooper Webb coming in. Sexton got an awesome start in the main event. Shane McElrath to his outside, Cooper Webb to his inside. He did what he needed to do very early.
Well, and he did. You get Coop goes into second position. I thought the battle was going to be on, but I can tell you right now, they didn't have, no one had anything for Chase Sexton. Just a dominant performance. But then the 51 of Justin Barsha gives McElrath a little elbow grease. Those guys were battling out in their heat race earlier this afternoon.
And it was just refreshing to see Justin Barsha up in the top 3 and fighting for a podium. Aaron Plessinger let him know that he was there and he wanted to stand on the podium, but Barsha, for the time being, was hanging tough.
Yeah, and he's got a nasty finger injury as well. Saw a picture of it. It isn't pretty, but again, go back to this guy. Just an absolute command performance at the most important time, one of the most important times of the season, with 3 races to go.
I don't know if you noticed or not on our timing and scoring, but at one stage, the lead got out to almost 20 seconds.
That is so unheard of, especially this day and age, and a gnarly get off by the 51 of Justin Barsha going over the handlebars. Oh, that was a tough hit. And I hate that for him because I think he could have got on the podium.
Yeah.
He had built a little gap between himself and the 7.
But when it was time for the checkered flag to fly, there was one clear leader, and he had led every single lap. That's a wire-to-wire victory for Chase Sexton, and back-to-back victories. He did that when he won his first 450 championship. So, in a game of tennis, back and forth, well, it's advantage Sexton at the moment. Webb still holds the points lead, but Webb's showing that he's returning serve just beautifully. There's an overview of the results for you. Let your eyes walk through that graphic to see some points of interest.
Well, I'm wondering like Joey Savacci, because he was fighting for that 6 to 7 position when Ken Roxon was up there, and he fell down to 11th, so we'll have to see what happened there. Another great ride by McElrath. Wilson, he was under the weather. Justin Hill, some notables there.
So one of the things you mentioned during those highlights, Ricky, was what a great ride it was from Justin Cooper. You were talking about he was dogged, he was determined, he was hanging in there. He made life difficult for Aaron Plessinger all the way to the checkered flag. So, as we say hi to Jason Wygant, let's hear what Justin Cooper thinks.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. He was all over Aaron Plessinger right to the checkered flag. You were digging for that podium.
Yeah, I was digging, but at the same time, I felt really flat. I came down with a sickness like Tuesday this week and took the rest of the week off and haven't done really much since. So Yeah, definitely feeling the effects. I kind of felt it in the heat race. I was pretty gassed after that one, and I knew I was in for it in the main event, but yeah, I just felt like I couldn't make that spurt. I couldn't charge after those guys, which is unfortunate. It was a really good day. Happy to be here with the hometown crowd, and for how the day went, I really can't be disappointed, but it definitely was tough just sitting kind of behind the AP and not able to really get in the battle. But I definitely tried, and yeah, hung in there until the end, and we'll take the fourth for sure.
We mentioned you're a New Yorker, also rode in New Jersey. How many people did you have here? Was it different than a normal race?
Yeah, it's just cool to see all the familiar faces, and it kind of brings back that childhood memory. So yeah, it was good to have a lot of people. Probably had 80 to 100 that I recognize, and it's just cool seeing those faces in the pits, and it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable out here. And yeah, it was a good day. Just really want to fight for that podium. So it was unfortunate that we kind of just sat there, but I really didn't have the effort or the energy to go after him. So hats off to AP. He's riding good.
All right, that's Justin Cooper, 4th place. Let's send it to Will back inside the stadium.
Thank you, with Dean Wilson. Dean, congratulations. We talked yesterday at Media Day. You said, I want a top 10, and you crossed the checkers there in 9th. Jumping on this Honda HRC for you, 3 weeks prep coming into it. What's been the biggest challenge leading up to these races?
Oh man, I would just have to say fitness, but not too bad out there. We're getting an interview here for 9th. This never happens, but I'm happy. I just kind of backed it down to 75-80% out there so I could withstand the whole main. I'm just getting back into it. I'm a little bit rusty, but I'm just very fortunate to be on this Honda HRC team, and I'm having a blast. It's really cool to be out here and get in the top 10. I feel like I can definitely do better, but I just need to take baby steps. So I'm pumped. Big thanks to my mechanic Cam Chain. Saying hello. I want to say hello to my family at home, and yeah, that's awesome.
But to get back into the groove of this, it's just shy of a year between gate drops for you. Like we said, you hardly had any lead-in time there, and you talked to me last weekend about that. How was that kind of your A1? That was your time. So where are you now with that? Does that just kind of wash away once you start to get gate drops?
You wouldn't believe the difference I felt from last weekend to this weekend. I just felt like there was a weight lifted off my shoulders. I just felt myself again this weekend. So yeah, and then I was back in B practice. I was a little bit frustrated, the track's not as good, but I just felt so much better than last weekend. Definitely more myself, and I think I'm going to keep getting better and adjusting to the bike. And yeah, it's just such a cool opportunity, and I'm not taking it for granted. And this could possibly be my last Supercrosses ever. So I still haven't made up my mind, but I'm putting in my best effort. I'm enjoying it, and big thank you to Lars and everyone at Honda, HRC, Rockstar Energy, all my sponsors. Hi to your Reeve, man. I don't want to miss anyone, but thank you everyone. I appreciate it.
It's been a lot of fun, Dino, having you back at the races here. You need to make a longer wish list. You said top 10, you got it. You got to make another one for next weekend.
That's it. Like I said, baby steps. So maybe we'll just top 7. We can go top 7. We'll be happy with that. So yeah, we'll just got to keep got a decent start that time, and yeah, that's going to help a lot, in these races. So I think I can do a lot better than that, though. I definitely didn't ride my best, but yeah, stoked to be in that top 10, and makes the week a bit better than last weekend.
And next weekend even better. See you in Philly, Dean. Thanks ever so much for your time. JT?
Thanks, Will. Well, I'm setting up to do a report down here on the racetrack, and I see none other than Monster Energy Kawasaki's Jorge Prado. First, I have to know your thoughts about watching that main event. You haven't been at the race in a little while. What are your overall thoughts of that main?
Yeah, I mean, the main was kind of weird, right? I feel like, yeah, Chase was riding obviously super good. I liked how he was riding and hitting the corners. He was just, yeah, more efficient everywhere, and you could see at the end of the race that gap was massive. So, no, cool to watch him ride and to learn a little bit of Chase and how he does things. And it's been a while, so I also decided to calm down now and see how is the track. And it's actually very challenging. It's crazy how easy they make it look, right?
So when you walk around with your crew chief, Oscar Weirdeman, and you're thinking about 2026 when you're going to be back out here in Monster Energy Supercross, what can you learn looking at a racetrack in this condition and apply that for next season?
Man, I think it's more about experience, right? I need to kind of see what the others do in these kind of conditions and plus apply it myself. The best would have been to race and do it on the bike, but as I'm here right now, I just decided to calm down and check the track, and man, the whoops are gnarly. It's crazy how, for example, Chase was hitting this second set of whoops, just skimming all of them. Yeah, impressive.
Well, it's good to have you here. We'll, of course, see you at the Pro Motocross opener. And, thanks for visiting Monster Energy Supercross.
Thank you.
And thanks to have him in the booth as well.
Yeah.
It's great to have Jorge up here. A reminder of what the points structure looks like. So from 15 to 12 down to 9 now. Chase Sexton continues to eat into Cooper Webb's lead. Ken Roxon's kind of in his own space in third, but the fight for fourth will be intense to the end between Justin Cooper and Malcolm Stewart for some bragging rights there with just 1 point in between. Talking about racing for championships, talking about boasting an advantage and doing the best that you can, there's nobody better than this guy, the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael. Is there some familiarity when you look at what Cooper Webb had to go through today? And I'm not talking about you losing a race by 16 seconds, but championship-wise, can you almost understand what he's going through? I mean, he didn't want to finish second by that distance, but it is what it is. He's lost another 3 points, but there's still 3 rounds to go.
Well, I think subconsciously there is something that goes on with your mind and your brain that just automatically makes you take a step back when you know you have a little bit of buffer. And I've been in this position a couple times, and each week I was like, man, I feel like I'm giving it 100%, but I'm losing by like 10 to 12 seconds to Chad Reed or James, one of those two guys. And all Cooper can do at this stage is just do everything that he knows he can do right. Get good starts, and if he gets second, he gets second. What he can't do is he can't override the bike, try to reinvent the wheel with 3 races to do. Like I said before that race, he's got to stick to his tangibles. That's all he can do at this stage, and maybe hope for a race that he finishes in front of Chase, because if that happens, then I think the rest is over.
I think before we get to JT for a track report, something that's worth acknowledging is that Chase Sexton had to sustain, he received so much criticism in the early portion of this championship for being in a prominent position and making a silly error, an unforced error.
Yeah.
And he had to take that criticism week after week after week, and when it was going so right, and then there were little hiccups and it went wrong. Well, let's take the same amount of time to give this guy the credit that he deserves, because there is no bigger pressure cooker than there is now of him going for his 2nd Premier Class championship. He's going up against one of the toughest in the sport's history, and he is prevailing. So let's keep that in mind, that Sexton has done exactly what he said he wanted to do and that he has needed to do, and he's got back-to-back victories. So that's a really important point of acknowledgement for how he's responding and how he is handling this championship pressure. With that being said, let's go back to one of the favorite segments on this show, and it's always the SMX Insider post-race show track segment with JT. Where are you, mate? What have you got for us?
I'm down here in the whoops, and first, Lee, I love your point there about Chase Sexton. If you're going to take the criticism when it's due, you have to get the credit when it's due, and Chase Sexton deserves exactly that. But the bad news is I don't have a world champion here with me this time. I'm just by myself, and we're going to talk about the racetrack and these whoops and how Chase Sexton was able to blitz through here. Cooper Webb was just out here staring at these whoops. You heard him mention on the podium he's in disbelief that Chase was able to do what he was doing, and I'm going to show you exactly why. Now, when whoops are brand new, everybody can kind of blitz them. They're easy to get a drive across. What happens when they deteriorate? You hear us talk about that so much, deterioration. What does that look like? Well, this is what it looks like. Every single whoop has a rut all the way through it. Now, that's where Cooper Webb is so incredulous, because how was Chase Sexton able to blitz through ruts? And I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite sure either. So that is such a coup for Chase Sexton. It's something that Cooper Webb's going to be thinking about all week this week. We're going to go to Pittsburgh. Conditions could be just like this, soft, ruddy. And if Chase Sexton has the same setup and the same speed in the whoops, guys, I'm not quite sure that Cooper Webb has an answer for that right now.
.250 highlights from East Rutherford here in New Jersey, in the shadows of the Big Apple. We're literally just down the road, just down I-95. And the championship was tied coming in to this round between RJ Hampshire and Seth Hammacker. But how about the starts tonight? Today, I should say, from Nate Thrasher aboard his Monster Energy Star Yamaha. They were spectacular in the heat and in the main.
Yeah, it was very similar to the to the heat race, but man, what a clutch pass by Hammacker, getting to the lead early, putting in sprint laps. However, the 41 of Thrasher, he definitely challenged him, but Hymas takes a nasty lick right here, comes up short on that triple into the corner. He high sides. Let's hope that he's okay. All he wanted to do was get through this 250 East Coast Divisional Series and go into the Pro Motocross Championship 100%. And I hate this for the number 10.
Yeah, wishing him a speedy recovery. Crash also for Nate Thrasher by himself, tucked the front, and that allowed several to get by, like RJ Hampshire and Tom Vial, and Thrasher would go further down the order and get also a one-spot penalty for gaining an advantage later. Hampshire felt that he rode better this week than last, but he wasn't able to do anything about Hammacker out in front.
Well, and he's keeping himself in the championship fight. I was pumped with his ride. Vial still there lurking. Needs a little bit more speed, but he's running out of time. These guys have 2 more rounds left. This guy, unbelievable performance, and I am very happy for him.
Seth Hammacker, rock solid.
Yes.
Nothing too flashy today, just a rock solid ride to become the first multi-time winner in the East Division Championship. Hampshire worked hard. It was a hot afternoon, 82 degrees in Jersey. But flying the flag for Pro Circuit for Kawasaki, Seth Hammacker gets his 2nd win on the season. He had to wait 4 years between his first and his 2nd victory. He only had to wait a matter of weeks to get his 3rd career victory. Who catches your eye on that result?
Well, number 1, Cullen Park. He had a little bit of help there. Thrasher was penalized 1 position. Volan had a great ride. He was good earlier today, qualifying practice and in the main event. And of course, Austin Faulkner, Simonson.
And Henry Miller, after a big crash in the heat, he won he went through and won last chance qualifier, and then to finish top 8. That's an awesome effort that will help Henry Miller in his top 10 quest in the overall championship. Speaking of championship, holding the red plate, the lead by himself for the first time in his career, Weege, Seth Hammacker.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. And timing is everything. Not just winning the race and getting sole possession of the red plate, but doing it in the right place, too. We built up the home race last weekend in Philadelphia for the Pennsylvania native Seth Hammacker, but you're still pretty close to home in New Jersey. Where are you headed to celebrate this one?
Yeah, we're very close to home still, and I get to sleep in my own bed tonight. So, yeah, right after the press conference and hanging out for a little bit, then headed back to home. So, super grateful, and a lot of fans here, family, and yeah, can't wait to spend Easter Sunday with the family tomorrow. So, like I said, just grateful. Super pumped to get a win in front of all the hometown, even though Philly's hometown, but this one's not too far down the road either. So, and next weekend back in Pittsburgh. So this East Coast swing's just been awesome. And yeah, tough racetrack tonight, but super stoked on with how I'm riding, and just got to keep it up and keep doing what we're doing.
Now, you told me this morning the goal was to hit the whoops in 5th gear, but then JT just did a report and we saw how difficult the whoops became. Did you still do it?
Yeah, first half of that main event, we were clicking 5th and sending it. A couple sketchy moments, but you know, I think that's just you got to have confidence coming in there, and when you have a long run into the whoops like that first set that we had tonight, you know, you have time to get that shift and carry that speed, and I feel like it settles the bike a little bit when you're in a taller gear. But yeah, sometimes it didn't really feel like that when the bike was swapping, but you know, it's a tough racetrack, so you got to do what you got to do.
Pretty good way to spend Easter dinner with the first place trophy tomorrow afternoon.
And riding at not 100% healthy, Weege, as well. So Justin Cooper and Seth Hammacker riding a little under the weather, but he'll feel better tomorrow when he wakes up and sees this, that he leads by 3.
Yeah, with 2 more races to go, and he's just been spectacular. I like the speed that he has over the rest of the crew. RJ is right there also on speed. Seth was just a little bit better, and I still don't know just how healthy RJ Hampshire is. So if he's just off a little bit, you will see that gap like you saw today between Seth and him. So a lot of racing left, and I like RJ's chances for this championship based on how he did last year, winning it down at the wire at Salt Lake.
I know we've come off the graphic. I just want to give a shout out to Cullen Park.
Oh,
now
yeah.
4th in the points.
Yeah.
It's a non-factory bike. They do get a little bit of factory help from Honda, but on that Phoenix Honda, to be in 4th place there behind Tom Vial is amazing. So your gut tells you that Hammacker can get this done?
Yeah, I like it. Only thing is why I like RJ, maybe. I give him a little bit of an advantage just from the mental side because he's been in this situation before. He kind of knows what to expect, and it's a lot of pressure. But I also like to see Seth in that position and see if he can handle it. He's doing a fantastic job so far.
I said at the beginning of the day that the East Division Championship is the gift that keeps on giving. It gave us another one again. But again, Hammacker winning for the first multi-time winner this year. So we don't just talk rider points, we talk manufacturer points as well. And combined, 250, 450, massive day for KTM because Tom Vial got on the podium. And then the 450 boys had a 1-3 result.
They did. KTM making it happen lately. I don't know if they've changed stuff on their bike or what, but it just seems ever since Birmingham, that Austrian group's got it going on.
So Yamaha was second on the day, but Yamaha continues to lead as the rounds wind down. 30 points the advantage to the Blue Crew. And speaking of that, let's go to the Yamaha track map, appropriate timing, to have a look at next week when we're going to be in Pittsburgh.
Well, we need to be living right. All the SMX fans, the racers, the Supercross, Monster Energy Supercross racers need to live right. Look, pretty traditional track, long back and forth. I've never been to that stadium, so again, we need Mother Nature to work for us, and because it's an open-air stadium, but it's going to be a lot of fun to go to a new venue, to open it up to more fans, getting to see Monster Energy Supercross. I like this racetrack. Only one set of whoops, so if you're Cooper Webb, hey, maybe you have a fighting chance, but I think the tides have changed, and so going into Pittsburgh, I'm looking for the reaction of Cooper Webb. Maybe he does something, maybe he doesn't, maybe he tries to just ride it out. Again, I already said it, you can't reinvent the wheel with 3 races to go, but maybe putting a little more pressure on would be ideal.
I tell you one thing you are going to see next weekend in Pittsburgh is a packed stadium.
Yeah, it is.
Because from the moment that the calendar was announced and the tickets went on sale, Pittsburgh went crazy. Last time Supercross was in the Steel City was 1983. So there are a lot of hungry fans wanting to see Supercross there at the home of the Steelers. It's going to be a fun weekend and with big energy. So we're really looking forward to that. And here's how you can watch it. 1:30 race day live will kick off. We're kind of back to a more traditional time spot now after several afternoon races. 7 p.m. Eastern, the gate will drop and you'll see that live on Peacock. There's a special 2-hour encore presentation on NBC the following day. So that's pretty cool. Live on Peacock and an encore presentation on network television. And as always, the SMX Video Pass available for all of you outside of the United States. So, returning to New Jersey after a year away. Pretty cool to be back. It gave us some unexpected results. Hammacker, multi-time winner this year. Chase Sexton winning by a mile. That's what we didn't expect. But he has shown all of us his championship intentions, and this fight between those two will just get better and better. See you next week from Pittsburgh. Happy Easter.